is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
Hello, I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James, and you have come to Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. Please chat with us, and I'll pass it on to Beth, and she'll talk directly to you if you're here live in person. Otherwise, leave a comment, and she will comment back to you. And we already have a hello here from Brittany. Hi, Beth. Yay.
Yay! Brittany, a new friend who gave me a total lift today. So what's happening, James? Are we not on YouTube?
Coming up.
So we broadcast this program to Facebook and YouTube every week, and it looks like we are broadcasting. So there you go. So tonight I'm going to talk about, what is my topic?
Our mission has not changed.
Our mission has not changed. And those of you who think about it and know me probably have an idea of what I'm talking about. A lot of us are kind of like in shock, despondent. Okay, in shock. Despondent. Angry. Scared. About what happened last night.
In the U.S. election for president.
Yes, and look, we have another comment.
Oh, and Christine is here. Says Christine here.
Oh, mwah, wonderful.
Welcome. So glad to have you with us.
Wonderful friends here. And I want to tell you that Brittany just called me out of the blue tonight for something else. We have another comment, honey.
And Catalina is here. She says YouTube is working.
Yes.
She sends a heart of love. Thank
Yes,
you,
yes.
Catalina.
We're going to reach millions of people.
And Todd is here. Now it's working on Facebook too. Yay.
Oh, yeah. It was working before. Who knows?
Who knows?
You know, you just never know from 1 minute to the next
We saw
what's
it
going.
working.
And here we have another.
Elizabeth says hello and sends a heart of love.
Hello. Thank you,
support.
everybody, for saying hi. So I hope you're all ready for this topic of Our Mission Hasn't Changed.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. And I'm glad that Brittany is here because she made a comment, which I think I would love for her to share with all of us tonight. So about this very topic. So
One more comment. Amy says, hi, Beth and James.
Well,
And
hi
sends
there,
Karen.
Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
we really have a wonderful group with us tonight, live. I'm so happy. So I feel less alone. I need to feel less alone.
You are not alone.
I am not alone. We are not alone. So I'm talking about the election. And as I say, some of us were shocked, scared, freaked out, depressed, whatever it is, by the results.
And some people might actually be happy or content about it.
There may be some, but
No,
they're
we don't seem
probably
to know
not.
too many of those.
That's right. But this show is to address the people who are not happy about it. Those of you who are happy about it don't need this. Okay, we have another comment.
Karen has been here and says, been looking forward to this
Oh,
evening.
yay,
And sends a heart of
yay,
love.
Karen,
Thank you, Karen.
yay, super, fabulous.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is, of course, some of us are totally freaked out. And we're allowed to be. You know, you're allowed to. Last night I couldn't sleep. You know, I woke up. I was anxious. I didn't know what to do. Look, we have another one.
Tracy is here and says hello and sends caring. Thank you, Tracy.
Hello, Tracy. Lovely to see all of you and have you sharing already. So, many of us were looking for a different outcome. Now, I have tried very much not to get political on this show, but I felt like I really needed to make a stand, not because of so much of policies, but because of character, of abusive behavior that was coming from one of the parties, candidates. And I want to talk a little bit about why I think he won. I think you probably have figured out which one I'm talking about. Which male candidate I'm
Which
talking
male
about.
candidate was it?
Right. And so, in my spiritual belief system, I say the first thing we have to know, oh, there's another coming.
Todd says, me too. I had trouble sleeping.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit tired. Okay. But I'm wide awake for this. Okay. So people are afraid of different things. Afraid of Trump being a dictator, of him deporting millions of people, of him taking away even more rights from women, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth about why this happened. And mostly what I'm hearing from the pundits is that it's the economy stupid, right? Which
That's
was,
what they say.
wasn't that George Bush said that it's the economy stupid? So one of the George Bushes, I think, maybe not. Okay, we
it
don't.
was actually Clinton, Bill Clinton.
Oh,
who said that.
let's
And he
not.
won.
Okay,
on that
there you
slogan.
go. Okay, so the thing is, there is no doubt that people are freaked to talk about freaking out. People have been freaking out about the economy and how it's impacting them, mostly prices. Okay, we had a pandemic, guys. It was terrible. It cut off the supply. Things were not coming in. Prices started skyrocketing. People started price gouging, and we had some horrible and very impactful inflation. And we've been impacted by it too. It's not like we're different from anybody else. We've been very impacted. And so I know that that's there and that people are upset about that. And so they say, oh, well, screw them, the people who were in power when that happened, even though they didn't cause the pandemic and have really pretty much gotten us out of that inflationary period, but we're still stuck with high prices and all of that. And so they say, well, that's why Kamala lost. Now, I want to say something about this Kamala lost thing. The last time I looked at the numbers, which was a while ago, Kamala Harris had almost 68 million votes. Now, Trump had like 72 million votes. Now, those numbers may be different now, but that's what it was then. So to say, oh my God, nobody voted for Kamala Harris. No, only 68 million people voted against Trump. They didn't like him. And I want to talk about why it's important not to like this guy. So, yeah, I get it. We're in pain and we're struggling. We couldn't sell our house. We got this was stuck and that and all of that stuff. Okay. So let me just get into this, and then I'm going to tell you the good news at the end. So this is the first piece of good news, is that there were, at that point, almost 68 million people who voted against Trump. That means they didn't like him. They didn't like what he was saying. So I've heard all kinds of excuses. Well, Democrats have lost track and lost connection with the working class. Well, maybe to some degree that's true, but there was almost 68 million. Do you think they were all in the elite? 68 million wealthy people in this country voted for Kamala Harris. And not only that, massive numbers of black women and black men and Latina women. Obviously, they're all in the elite. They are not working class. And in fact, me too. I'm just merely an old white woman, Not only am I in the elite, but in addition to that, I think I'm I'm in the working class. I don't know what other class I'm in. So this is nonsense that there's no Democrats, that the Democrats did not. It's like, oh, yeah, because the only working class is white. I guess the rest don't count. Not to speak of the poor, undocumented workers who do a lot of the shit work for our society.
And
And
by
it
the
looks
way,
like,
Christine says the kids are here too watching. Her kids
whoa,
meeting,
hi, kids.
18-year-olds.
Yeah, they're big kids.
Big
So
kids.
happy to have you. So, so that's the first thing to notice, that there is like a little bit of an exaggeration going on here, that nobody supported Kamala Harris, and that it was almost justified that all these white people and men, Latino men, started to vote for Trump, and white men.
Oh, I'm one of those, aren't I? Well, I still got my hat. White dudes for Harris.
Exactly. So obviously not everybody agreed who was in that, but that shows you how narrow our concept is. I guess we're not part of the working class. Well, obviously black people aren't part of the working class. I mean, what's wrong with you? Okay, so I wanted to point that out because one of the rationalizations for the Trump victory, as I said, is that there was all this pain, financial pain. And so, great, I get it. But you know something? This man ran an entire campaign attacking women and minorities and immigrants. I don't care if you agree with him on every policy. To me, somebody who tries to overthrow the government, puts
Which
out
happened on
lies.
January 6th back in 2021.
That's right. And is constantly lying and runs a campaign on misogyny, which is hatred of women, and racism,
Which is hatred of the other races.
doesn't get my vote, period. So now, what does that tell us about the population? Now, this may make you want to cry even more. Did they like that in some way? Now, some people may be like that, oh, I have to vote for him, but I'm holding my nose. I guess those people don't remember how well he handled that pandemic when people...
So many people died who didn't need to because he was the #1 denier of the pandemic.
Right, and he was completely incompetent. But, you know, hey, you know, there's inflation. So we should really put in power an incompetent man who wants to be an autocrat, who tries to overthrow the government, who's a cheat, and who absolutely vilifies women, minorities, and a lot of other people. And we have another comment.
Oh, yes, Brittany has a comment here. The fact that any amount of people voted for him only shows how much work we have to do. The ugly has to come into the light so it can be fixed. It's back in the light for us to heal it.
Exactly.
Bravo.
And that is exactly right, Brittany. And I'm so glad that you came on and you had a chance to say that yourself. Because I don't want to deny that. I don't want to pretend that there isn't racism and misogyny. I'm alive. I see it. I saw it growing up. I've always seen it, right? I have felt it in several ways. You know, one is that I am a woman. I know it's hard to believe that once you pass a certain age that you're not new to gender, but actually there are older people such as myself who are still women. And in terms of racism, not only did I experience racism as a Jewish woman in the day, but also I experienced racism as being in a relationship with a black man for many, many years. And it's very obvious. So I'm not going to pretend. And I'm not going to, quote, whitewash it and say that it wasn't a factor. I think it was. So I think there were three factors in this election. One is the real financial pain that people are experiencing. Second is the racism and the anti-woman sentiment that is like going on. And, you know, I saw some women who were actually Trump supporters, who were asked about Kamala Harris, and they said, and kid you not, I saw them being interviewed. They said, well, she's slick, but she's not very smart. She's not smart. Oh, no. Obviously, they are much smarter than she is, because any black woman can't be very smart. And then women were being insulted. How you can vote for a man who denigrates women, who talks about grabbing them by the you-know-what, who has been convicted of rape,
And he's convicted on 32 felony counts of fraud and obstruction of justice.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
and over here on YouTube, Todd says, hi, Beth and James, you're on. He says, can't watch on Facebook. It's just spinning.
Well, that's
Okay, I'm
odd, but
so
that
glad
must
you
have been
switched over to
before.
YouTube.
Yeah, so maybe you're there, but later on he came in and he said it was working on YouTube. So I guess it is working on YouTube. So who knows? You know, the internet does what it does. I had it set up perfectly. So what we're seeing is these ugly undercurrents that we don't want to face. And many of us have experienced that kind of prejudice ourselves, whether you're Asian American or, you heard Tucker Carlson calling Kamala Harris, who is a black woman, an Indian woman,
Malaysian, Indian.
a
Samoan and Malaysian.
Samoan Malaysian low IQ woman.
Jesus.
So,
The
and
fact is, she's a highly educated and highly distinguished
Okay.
career woman.
so my point is, this is some of the ugliness that Brittany is talking about. Now, what does that mean for us? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to get paralyzed and watch them just demolish what we have left of democracy? Are we supposed to fight back, and in what way? So now here's the part that's most important. I want to live in a world that's kind. Oh my God, kind? Kind? You're such a wimp. I want to live in a world that's loving, that's caring, where people look out for each other, that treat each other as neighbors. Even, it doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat. This is not partisan. This is about prejudice, and this is about cruelty.
Is that part of the mission that you're on, that you said we're still on the mission?
Yes. So thank you, James. So the point is, the very point is that yesterday, 6 months ago, a year ago, we were looking at a society that was rent by misogyny, hatred of women, racism of all kinds, prejudice, bad treatment of people, veterans, the disabled. Do I need to go on? That was happening then. It's still happening now. It was happening years ago. It was happening while I was growing up, right? And it still happens. So in order for us to build a better world, we have to get into the subconscious mind of all the people who are dragged along with this. Sometimes they really just don't get it, they don't see it, but a lot of times it is feeding something in them, and it looks like we
We
have...
have another comment. This is from Mohammed. He says, Trump has turned up Trumps, madam.
Exactly, Mohammed. You have nailed that one. That is exactly right. People who have a kinship with that kind of belief system do flock to him. But some people might think better if it's brought to their attention. I do know people who have changed when they have been confronted on their treatment of women, for example. Now, let me say, a lot of times men don't even see that they're condescending towards women, or that they're trying to dominate women, or they're trying to control women, or they're really afraid of women, or they're really angry at women, or they don't want women to be on top, in charge of anything. They don't even realize it until they are confronted by that.
I've seen that in myself.
Yeah.
I was raised to think that, the man should be one up. My father always tried to be one up. I wanted to be one up. And then I came to realize that's not exactly conducive to a harmonious relationship.
No, exactly. And so our hearts can go out with compassion, to people who have those kind of beliefs, anti-Muslims. I mean, we've had a whole lot of that in this country, right? Same thing. Demonizing other people and degrading them. No. So we have to look at that. We have to try to understand why people are so insecure within themselves that they need to put down other people.
So that they can feel one up themselves, which we're seeing a lot in this masculine, male-oriented one-upmanship toward women that showed up in this election.
That's right. We
And
have two more comments.
A couple of comments. Mohammed says, "You are kindness personified, madam."
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mohammed.
Sweet.
Todd says, "That's me. I have done that. I am working on it. Thankfully, you have confronted me, and so has Christine."
Lovely. So
Good
what
for you, Todd.
we have to do is we have to be vigilant. We have to confront these things when we see them, and we have to also be willing to be compassionate if we want to understand the people. And if they don't want to be understood, we have to stop them from abusing others. You know, my little formula, if you see abuse, do everything you can to stop it, and then come in with the therapy.
And the compassion.
And the compassion, and try to understand it.
Oh, Elizabeth says, "It's difficult to hear you, James." My word.
Oh,
Thank you for the feedback. I want to make sure I'm heard.
Yes.
It looks like I'm coming through on the monitor here.
Yeah. Maybe you pull it away sometimes. It's hard to see.
Yeah, if I pull it away like this and then bring it back over like this.
Right.
Yeah, I see that.
So our mission is to keep building a better world, a world of consciousness, of love and awareness. I call that love and awareness. We have to combine them both. We can't just accept what people do and say, "Oh yeah, I love you, that's okay." And we have to bring awareness if we have it, right? And we need to try to do it in a loving way. And we can't just bring in awareness, because then it's too harsh and it's like, "You did!" And then people just get more defensive and they don't look at it.
There's another aspect I'd like to bring in that I've heard you talk about quite a lot, which is oneness. We're on a mission here to try to recognize that we're so much alike, and that we can resonate with whatever's going on with other people. That's also aspects of ourselves. Oneness. Now, when you take a stand against separation, well, that's also a stand for oneness.
Exactly. Now that is a great statement, because we're bringing love and awareness. And one of the awarenesses that we need to bring is not just awareness of when we are separating and judging and trying to make other people look like, even, I don't want to make Republicans look like demons either. I don't want to make anybody look like a demon. I just want to stop the abuse and confront the behavior and then heal.
And do what's for the highest good of all.
Exactly. But we need to recognize, and that's one of the things that Kamala Harris kept saying, we have so much more in common than what separates us. So are we going to give up this fight? You think that this is a fight that is going to take a day, a month, 2 months?
That's right. It'll be an ongoing fight.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad says, "A true love, not love that is transitory, is appreciated everywhere.
That is very true. We all do need love. So, what are we going to do, guys? My mission is the same. I don't want to get thrown. I want to realize that on some level, nothing has changed. Even people who may have voted for Kamala Harris might have lurking within them, as Brittany was pointing out, some racism or some misogyny. I might have some, right? We all need to start looking at ourselves. And I want to conclude with a very important point that because I see we're running out of time already. But before I conclude, I want you to please like or love this show on Facebook. Please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Please share this program with everybody you know who's feeling depressed about this election, who's outraged, who whatever.
Oh, by the way, Muhammad has a question. What should be the exact definition of love, madam?
You'll have to come back another time because I've got
That's a
to
big
wrap.
topic.
That's a big topic. But one thing it is the ability to feel the other person's feelings. And that's empathy. It's compassion. It is, I see you as real. I feel your pain. That is a huge
And I feel
part.
and appreciate who you are.
And I feel, yes, so that is a huge part of it. So, and by the way, if you come after the show, please leave your comments and I will answer them as soon as I can. The final thing I want to say is so much of these dark energies like misogyny, like racism, like prejudice against the disabled, right? They're all coming from our subconscious mind. So we may not even be able to recognize them, but we are seeing it now in this. And instead of being upset, we need to do what Brittany says. We need to use this as an opportunity to see things that may have been lurking there all along.
And need healing.
And need healing. And recommit. And in order to recommit to confronting those things, we need to feel support. So the amazing thing is I was feeling a little bit low, thinking about the show and what I might say. But, you know, I usually don't have any notes. I just speak extemporaneously. What I was, might want to talk about. And I was feeling a little low. And that's when Brittany called me. And then she made her comment about it's the darkness that helps us to see what's really going on. And all of a sudden, it was something about that connection with this perfect stranger that made me feel powerful and strong again. And sometimes we look around and the people who we love or we expect support from are not always emotionally able or available. But you see, let's keep looking because there are so many of us, almost 68 million, who actually value the same things we do and are ready to fight for those things, and we are not alone. And I want each one of us to end this program with those words. We are not alone. We are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am not alone.
I am not alone.
This fight has been going on for thousands of years. Discrimination all over. Look at the untouchables in India. I mean, in every society, there have always been this unconscious effort to build ourselves up or exploit other people by pushing them down. And it's time for humanity to wake up and go past that. And this is a time to rally ourselves and to remember that we can overcome this if we're willing to look within to really help each other. And there's so much more about looking into the subconscious, but I can't talk about that tonight. And to remember that we are not alone. So give us a like, a love, a thumbs up.
And share it with other
Oh,
people.
and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us, and click the notification button, and follow us on Facebook so that we don't feel alone, and share this message with all your friends and even people who are not your friends.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us
So glad to
tonight. I
have you
can't
with
believe
us.
that the time has passed. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow for Magical Improvs, where we play music at 7 o'clock Pacific time in the same place. And join us again next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific for Granny Raps and Rocks, lighting the way. And we have one more comment before we close.
Brittany says, beautiful, with an exclamation mark. Thank you, she says.
Thank you. Kisses to you
Wonderful.
all. We are not alone. We are not alone.
And our
we
mission
are
has not changed.
And our mission is the same one it was yesterday. And we just have to keep going with it. We don't have to be floored and freak out. We all know what this mission is. Those of us who, and if you haven't been on this mission yet, join us.
Yes.
Yes.